I'm going to show you how to make wood signs using vinyl stencils. You are going to use your Cricut or Cameo machine to make the stencils. Before I start, I want to remind you that when you are making vinyl stencils, you must use removable adhesive vinyl. Now, let's begin. I'm in Cricut Design Space. For this project, I'm going to use this image that I designed for a bathroom sign. You can download it for free from my blog avantymorocha.com. If you are subscribed to Cricut Access, you can use the image you like to make a sign. Go to Images. My recommendation is to use images with a thick stroke, at least at the beginning, until you get more experience making wood signs. This is a good example. If you want to use Cricut Design Space and text to make your own designs, I'm going to show you what to do when using a script font. I'm going to type love, modify the dimensions. Now I'm going to modify the letter spacing to -0.5. I'm going to change the fill color to white so you can see what I'm doing. If you send this word to be cut like this, it will be cut as individual letters. If you want to cut it as a single piece, you need to weld it together. Click on Weld. Now it's a single piece. I'm going to delete it and continue with the other sign. Select everything and click on Attach. Now click on Make It. I'm using a 12 by 6 piece of vinyl. I'm going to place the design in the center. You want to have enough material around the design. Click on Continue. Select the material. I'm going to click on vinyl. Because I used this vinyl before, I know it works better if I add more pressure. Load the fine point blade and the mat and start the job. Now I'm in Silhouette Studio. I'm going to use the same image. You can download it from my blog avantymorocha.com. You can also buy an image from Silhouette Design Store. The recommendation is the same. Use an image with thick strokes. If you want to use Silhouette Studio and text to make your own design, I'm going to show you what to do when using a script font. I'm going to type love, modify the dimensions. If you send this word to be cut like this, it will be cut as individual letters. If you want to cut it as a single piece, you need to weld it together. Open the Modify panel and click on Weld. I'm going to move the letter L so it has a connection. Select both elements and click on Weld. As you can see, now it's a single piece. I'm going to delete it and continue with the other sign. Click on Send. I'm going to use Tool 1. The material is vinyl glossy. The action is cut. The tool is the auto blade. I'm going to use the default settings. If you haven't used this vinyl before, I recommend making a test cut. I'm going to click on Send. When placing the material on a Cricut or Silhouette mat, ensure the grid side is facing down. Load the mat and start the job. The process to cut this piece took about 1.5 minutes. I finished the cut. Now I'm going to start the weeding. Since this is a stencil, I'm going to remove the letters. Be sure to leave the counters of each letter. This is the space inside a letter. I fast forward this part of the video. The weeding process took 3 minutes. The stencil is ready. Place a piece of transfer tape over the stencil. Use the scraper front and back to ensure the transfer is complete. Remove the backing starting from the corner. This is a piece of pine wood that I paint with Annie's Long Chalk paint. Place the stencil over the piece of wood. Use the scraper to ensure the stencil has stuck properly to the piece of wood. Remove the transfer tape. If you want it, you can save the transfer tape and use it in other projects. You can use it as long as it's sticky. The next step is essential to get good results. I'm going to apply a thin layer of Mod Podge. Ensure you are using the matte version. I'm going to use this sponge brush to apply the Mod Podge all over the design. Make sure to avoid any clumps. You only want a thin layer. You are using the Mod Podge to prevent the paint from bleeding because it's going to seal any tiny space between the stencil and the wood. Let it dry. I prefer to use my hair dryer on the cool setting to speed the dry time. Now it's completely dry. It took me about a minute to dry it. Now I'm going to apply acrylic paint. Make sure you cover the whole design. Let it dry. I prefer to use my hair dryer on the cool setting. It speeds up the process. Now that it's completely dry, remove the stencil. Pull the stencil perpendicular to the wood grain. Remove the pieces inside the letters. As you can see, the result is fantastic. However, I can see imperfections that are quickly solved with a brush and paint. I fixed the imperfections. It looks incredible. If you want a distressed look, you can use a low-grain sandpaper over the design. I don't have the right sandpaper, so I'm going to skip this step. I'm back in Cricut Design Space. Now I'm going to use an image from Cricut Access. Remember, you can only use these images if you are paying for the subscription. Go to Images. I'm going to use this one. Click on Insert Image. Modify the dimensions. I want the width to be 11.2 inches. I want the image to have a thicker stroke, so I'm going to duplicate it. Move it slightly to the right and bottom. Select the two images and click on Weld. Now you're going to follow the same steps we did in the first sign. If you're wondering how to use the sign, you can place a frame around or you can put it inside a tobacco basket. Now I'm back in Silhouette Studio. I'm going to use this design that I bought on Silhouette Design Store. I don't recommend using an intricate design like this one as your first project, but remember, practice makes perfect. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps I did in the first sign. Then, as you can see, the sign looks fantastic. I want to show you that using Mod Podge makes a huge difference. I didn't use it in the bottom sign. The results are not that great. I'm going to redo this sign. This time I'm going to use a thicker stroke in the font and I'm going to apply a thin layer of Mod Podge. Done. Now it looks way better than before. You can download the files to make these two projects on my blog avantimorocha.com. If you want good results, don't skip the layer of Mod Podge. If you cannot find this product in your country, you can make a homemade version using 1 cup of white glue and 1/3 of water. I hope you like this project, and if you make a wood sign, don't forget to share a picture on my Facebook page or tag me on Instagram. I love to see it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you are interested in a Cricut or a Cameo machine, I'm going to share the links where you can buy them in the info box below the video. If you are new to my channel and you like what you see, hit the subscription button, tap the notification bell so you get informed every time I release a new video. Don't forget to visit my blog, follow me on my social media, like this video and share it with your loved ones. See you soon! Ciao ciao!